What a show, man. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It was just a fantastic, absolutely amazing show. This is why I stand AEW, man. Because I know I'm gonna get a show like this out of everything they do, and they make some mistakes, and I'll get to it because there are some mistakes on the show, but yes, they make mistakes at AEW. They're not perfect, but majority of the time, man, I know it's gonna end with something like this. So Double or Nothing, AEW Double or Nothing, 2022 was yesterday, and I had a blast. So let's start. We had the buy-in. Buy-in started at 4 o'clock here. It was mainly just promo packages. Thankfully, just before this first match, the food arrived for the pay-per-view. I always get food for wrestling pay-per-view when it's a pay-per-view I'm actually watching. So, WWE pay-per-views don't get this anymore because I don't watch WWE pay-per-views. But, of course, I had to get some food for Double or Nothing, and we just got McDonald's. Been craving McDonald's. It's the thing where it's like, because I haven't had McDonald's in so long, you start to crave it. So I was like, oh, I'll get McDonald's. And there was a promo going on with Skip the Dishes for that day. And I was like, great. So our whole family got McDonald's. A nice quarter pounder with cheese meal. It was great. And then we had Hulkhausen face Tony Nese and Mark Sterling. This match was pure comedy. It was just a pure comedy match. Nothing to take seriously. There was a good moment where Tony Nese went to tag out, and Mark Sterling kind of jumped off, kind of be like, oh, no, 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 I'm not going to get in. But in the end, Hook takes down Mark Sterling, and then he allows Danhausen to make the pin. And that's it. It was, again, just a comedy match. It wasn't meant to be anything. It was legit just comedy. But then the actual show started with, oh boy, one of the most controversial match. So, of course, before the show started on Saturday, it was reported that MJF had booked a flight out of Vegas, and he was gonna not be at the show. Yawn, because I just woke up. Because he ditched his FanFest appearance. And this was more of like, oh, MJF's mad at the company. So going into it, it was very 50-50 on whether people thought it was a work or a shoot. I was very undecided because there's times where I'm like, oh, this could be work, but then there's times I'm like, oh god, maybe it's not. But the person I felt really bad for was Wardlow. I'm like, this was going to be his moment. We all knew this was going to be Wardlow's moment. So they start the show with this. MJF's music come out. It starts. He does come out. Wardlow comes out. And yeah, this was pretty much a squash. It was pretty much a squash of Wardlow just beating up MJF. The beatdown really started when MJF's just telling Wardlow, he's like, I'll double your pay. I'll triple your pay. No, I'll quadruple your pay. And Wardlow's like, quadruple? Wow. And he shakes the hand. MJF's like, let's do business. He goes to walk away. Wardlow doesn't release the hand and gives him 10 power bombs. I thought MJF was going to work out of them because Wardlow was kind of a bit cocky, but no. He just took all 10 power bombs. Wardlow puts the foot on top and wins. And then MJF is stretchered out, which will write him off TV while they sort this all out. And Wardlow is now on his own. He's free from MJF. They had a little graphic at the end that said Wardlow's All Elite, so he's his own man now. Then we had the Hardys take on the Young Bucks. This match was very good. Very good match. There was a spot where the crowd was chanting for Brandon Cutler, so Nick Jackson got out of the ring and pushed Brandon. Then there was a spot where Matt Hardy was doing like his corner, like delete thing, where he takes the head and just starts like banging it into each turnbuckle while going like delete. He did it to Brandon Cutler on the outside, and then Brandon took a bump on the apron, which was he bounced. He took just like a freaking like flop on the apron and just bounced off it onto the floor. I was like, oh my god. There was a great spot where the Hardys are just like, they're looking at the Young Bucks and they're just like, kick our heads and go on, do it. And the Young Bucks are just like, oh, okay. And it's just a bunch of super kicks. Jeff Hardy did a swanton onto the steel steps to Matt Jackson. Then eventually the Hardys did their twist of fate swanton combo to Nick and got the victory. This was a really good match. I mean, what did you expect? Hardys versus Young Bucks, And then we enter a match that was not so good. Jade Cargill defends her TBS championship against Anna Jay. This match did get very messy at times. There was times where they were uncoordinated, the two, because both of them, sadly, are not the best. They're both still very much learning. Because there's times where they were screwing up and you could tell one of them was in position. So yeah, this match was very uncoordinated at times, and that's not what Jade Cargill needs. Jade Cargill needs to always be against someone who knows what they're doing and makes Jade look the best. And Jade did not look the best here. But eventually, the baddies come out. Anna Jay gives them a double DDT on the floor. Then Mark Sterling comes back out. John Silver comes out to stop him and gives him a freaking brainbuster on the floor. Then when Anna Jay and Jade are on the top rope, who comes out but Stokely Hathaway, the former Malcolm Bivens? He came out, distracted Anna Jay. Jade Cargill hits the Jaded from the top rope and retains her TBS title. Then after the match, Jade Cargill and the baddies are looking to beat up Anna Jay. Chris Statler comes out to make the save. But then also to come out is Athena, the former Ember Moon. She came out to also make her debut. 2 debuts in this segment. And that was that. So we got Jade Cargill's next feud there with Athena, who will surely beat her to be the new TBS champion. Probably we should have Jade versus Chris Statlander, where Jade beats Chris Statlander, then have her fight Athena. Just bump her up to 33 wins before she loses. But yeah. Then we had House of Black versus Death Triangle in a 6-man tag. Dude, this is awesome. This was sweet. I honestly think this might be match of the night. Because this was just awesome. 6-man tags, when done right, can just be amazing. And this was a 6-man tag done right, man. All of House of Black had face paint on, and then Death Triangle came out, and they all had masks. Obviously, Penta and Phoenix do, but Pac had a mask, and I was like, Pac, wrestle with the mask on. Took it off. Dang it, man. But there was a great spot. Oh, Brody King did like a tope over the top, and he landed on the apron a bit for that one. So that was but he just no-sold it and just got right back in the ring. So whatever, man. That's Brody King. But a big point in this match is where Alex Abrahentes got on the apron. Oh, I should mention just a spot that came into my head. Penta did his did a Canadian Destroyer to Buddy Matthews on the apron. And then there was a point where all three members of Death Triangle gave Malachi a super kick. And then Malachi fought through them and gave both Penta and Ray black masses. Then, as I was saying, there was a spot where Alex Abrahantes was distracting the ref. He was on the apron. I swore for a second. I thought, oh my god, is Pac gonna kick him off and join the House of Black? But no. Pac just low blows Malachi Black. And then he goes to the top for the black arrow. The lights go out. They come back on. Who is there but Julia Hart? She has embraced the House of Black. She missed Pac. And then Malachi hits the black mass for the win. House of Black win. Julia Hart has joined the House of Black. Awesome. That is great. I am so happy that they finally did. They should have done it sooner, but they finally done it now. And yeah, this match does just make me look at Tony Khan and just go, where are those trios belts, man? Because you got to look at their trios division. House of Black, you got Death Triangle, you've got Blackpool Combat Club, you've got members of Jericho Appreciation Society, you know, we've got Undisputed Elite, we've got the Acclaimed and the Ass Boys, the Gun Club. We've got the Factory. There's like a lot of factions in AEW, right? So there's tons of people who could hold the 6-man belts. So let's Dark Order, like, yeah, LAX with Santana, Ortiz, and Kingston. Like, there's a lot of people who could go for a 6-man title. I know Tony Khan is waiting for Kenny Omega to come back, but man, come on. I think it's time. We then had Adam Cole versus Samoa Joe in the men's Owen Hart Foundation tournament finals. These two have never wrestled before, apparently. This match was great. For the most part of it, it was Samoa Joe was beating up Adam Cole, because, I mean, look at Samoa Joe. But then Adam Cole took a little cheap shots every now and then. He attacked Joe's left shoulder, I believe, because that was the shoulder that was taped up for Joe, because of Satnam Singh. Big man. He didn't show up today. I thought that Jay Lethal, Sanjay, and Satnam were going to cost Samoa Joe, but no. That did not happen. What happened was Joe got Adam in the Coquina clutch. Bobby Fish came out, distracted Joe. That allowed Adam Cole to take down Joe. He gave him 2 super kicks, then the boom, and Adam Cole beat Samoa Joe in a nice, fine match. Yeah, and I had Adam Cole winning this tournament from the very beginning. So that was nice to see that my prediction was true. I didn't get the whole tournament right because Kyle O'Reilly, I didn't have him beating Phoenix. But that's the only thing I had wrong. Everything else I predicted right for this tournament, for the men's tournament. The women's tournament was a bracket buster because I had Toni Storm facing Ruby Soho here in the finals. But it was Britt Baker, which I wasn't mad at because then I thought of my plan B, which is, Britt Baker, Adam Cole, power couple. They win. And that's what we got. Britt Baker thankfully beat Ruby Soho for the Women's Foundation Cup. I'm like, oh no, are they going to give it to Ruby? Because they're telling the story where Ruby's like, I've never beaten Britt. This is my time. You know? This is my time to win the Owen and show everyone what I can do. And I'm like, oh no, don't do it. Don't give it to Ruby. Thankfully they didn't. And it went to Britt Baker. Thank goodness. We then had the ceremony where Dr. Martha Hart came out. She said a little speech, and then she gave both Adam and Britt belts. And the belts look nice, man. Those belts look really cool. I I saw on Twitter someone's like they look like old Mid South or NWA belts. Like that's what they were designed to look like. But those belts look really cool. And then Super Nintendo is done with the trophy, which their names are engraved, will be engraved on. Yeah, and that's the men, and that's the Owen Hart Foundation tournament for this year, and it will kick off again at Double or Nothing next year. So that's great. I love that this is going to be a yearly thing. Then we had Sammy Guevara, Frankie Kazarian, and Tay Conti versus American Top Team of Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky, and Paige Van Zandt in a 6-person mixed tag team match. We have now entered the lull. This was the lull period. These next 3 matches were very nothing. So yeah, the story for this match was Frankie Kazarian kept getting mad at Sammy Guevara because Sammy was like, strutting around, pandering to the crowd, and Scorpio Sky's like, "You dumb idiot, focus on the match." It got to a point where Sammy Guevara and Tay Conti were making out in the ring, and then all of American Top Team is there, and then Sammy's like, "Frankie, get in here and help," and Frankie's just like, screw you, and then Sammy and Tay got beat up. Paige Van Zandt, I gotta say, she did very well. Like, I was shocked that she was doing stuff, and I'm like, okay, wow, you did very well. She did some great clothesline. She did a freaking Michinoku driver. Yeah, she did really good in this. And then, of course, the ending spot was Frankie Kazarian and Sammy Guevara got in each other's face, right? And then Sammy went to super kick Frankie. He ended up super kicking Tay Conti. Frankie dumped Sammy out of the ring, and then Scorpio hit the TKO for the win. American Top Team win, meaning Frankie Kazarian and Sammy Guevara can now no longer challenge Scorpio Sky for the TNT title. Great. This match was, it wasn't bad, but it was definitely, you could tell this was the cool down match. Speaking of cool down, Darby Allin fought Kyle O'Reilly in a match that was made on Rampage. Again, this was a match that, it wasn't bad, but it's like, you can tell we're in a cool down phase. Darby took a nasty bump where he went for like a bottom, like he went for a heat-seeking missile, and he tripped and landed right on his head. And that was nasty. Then Darby decided, okay, we're going to do it again. And they went to the opposite side of the ring, and Darby did the heat-seeking missile again. I think this was the spot they were actually trying to do. Kyle caught him into a guillotine. Then there was a spot where Darby hit Kyle with a coffin drop as Kyle was hanging out of the second rope. But in the end, shockingly enough, Kyle O'Reilly hit the jumping knee from the top and beat Darby Allin. I'm like, oh my god, they're really giving Kyle like a little mini push here. Kyle gonna go for the TNT title? Why not? I wouldn't be mad at that. He's beaten Darby Allin now. He's beaten Jungle Boy to qualify for the tournament. He beat Ray Phoenix in the tournament. He had a great match with Samoa Joe on the main event of Dynamite this past week. So, what the hell? Why not give Kyle a little TNT title match? Then we had Thunder Rosa defending the AEW Women's Championship against Serena Deeb. This match went way too long. They could have cut this match a bit. And yeah, it was fine again, but we were very much in a lull here. But in the end, Thunder Rosa hit the Thunder Driver, Fire Thunder Driver, whatever the hell it is, on Serena Deeb and won. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, this wasn't the match I think I cared. These 3 matches in a row were like the matches I didn't really care about. So then we had Anarchy in the Arena, Jericho Appreciation Society versus the Blackpool Combat Club and LAX. Geez, this was definitely anarchy. Oh my god. The big thing was they started playing Wild Thing, obviously Jon Moxley's theme, and they just kept playing it over and over again as like they're fighting, because both teams just started fighting in the crowd immediately. And they're just playing Wild Thing. I'm like, what the hell? I couldn't concentrate because Wild Thing was playing. I'm like, turn it off. Thankfully, Jericho and Moxley started fighting over by like the sound thing. There was no one there. And Jericho found like the box for the song, and he's like, he breaks it. Thank you. So we can get to actual good stuff. So, this match was all over the place. So let me see if I can remember here. Santana did like a blockbuster to Jake Hager through two tables. Both of Santana and Ortiz, they both jumped off a ladder onto Angelo Parker and Matt Menard through tables. Eddie Kingston and Daniel Garcia started fighting in like a cargo lift. There was a okay, and then this is the part where it's like this should have been the end because they started taking apart the ring. Jon Moxley took off the top part of the ring, and I'm like, okay, now they gotta put that all back now. Maybe this should have been, the end of. This should have been the main event. That's pretty much what I'm getting at. But Jon Moxley takes off that classic blackboard with the barbed wire, and eventually he gets put through it by Jake Hager. Bryan Danielson is beating up Jake Hager. He's beating up Chris Jericho. He's got Chris Jericho in the lapel lock. Eddie Kingston comes out with lighter fluid, and he starts pouring it on Jericho, and he gets some on Bryan. And Bryan's like, what the hell, man? Eddie Kingston goes for a match to, light Jericho on fire. Danielson pushes him, like, what the hell are you doing? And then Eddie and Bryan start fighting. This allows Jake Hager and Jericho to get advantage of them. Jericho hits Kingston with the Judas effect. He puts Bryan in the wall of Jericho. Jake Hager then wraps the rope around Bryan, and Bryan passes out. And the Jericho Appreciation Society wins. This was a great match. Well, it's not even a match. It was anarchy. Anarchy in the arena. This was a great little thing. It wasn't even little. It was like 22 minutes. This was great. I loved it. It had a so different feel from the rest of the show, which is what it needed to. But this, we had to kill time after. And we killed time with a vignette from Andrade, where Andrade revealed his new business partner, who's Rush. I was so shocked. I'm like, oh my god, Rush! Los Ingobernables are reunited. So that's going to be great. I can't wait to see that. Of course, Andrade wasn't there. This was a pre-tape because he and Charlotte got married this weekend. Send my happy wishes. Then we had Scorpio Sky do like a little promo, like, who's next to challenge for the TNT title? And it was Dante Martin showed up. And he's like, I want to challenge. Scorpio goes, okay, but you ain't ready for this. But I'll give you your match. So I guess they're having their match on Wednesday, I would assume. Then we had Jurassic Express defend the tag titles against Team Taz and Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. This match ruled. This was a great match. I loved this match. Three-way matches in AEW. Tag team matches in general in AEW are just fantastic. Like, they have proven they are the place for tag team wrestling. But this match was awesome. There were many moments where I'm like, oh my god, T-Taz is going to win. Oh my god, Swerve and Lee are going to win. But of course, in the end, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus retain, as I predicted. And after this match, I believe that their next challengers will be the Hardy Boys. The Hardys will win, and then Christian will finally turn on Jungle Boy, starting that heel turn, and Christian can wrestle like he's meant to. But this match was awesome. Then we had the main event, CM Punk versus Hangman Page, AEW World Championship. This match was real good. The big spot in this match was Punk went for the GTS, and he nailed the ref by accident, and he and Hangman go down. Hangman sees the ref's down. He shakes the ref. He's like, get up. And then he looks and sees his belt. He grabs the belt. And he's got like this look in his eyes, and he's like, I'm going to hit Punk with the belt. And he's like, tell him to get up. And then he stops. He looks at the belt, and he goes, no, this isn't right. He throws the belt down. He goes for the buckshot. He took a bit too long. Punk then catches him from the buckshot into the GTS. And CM Punk wins the world title. CM Punk is the new AEW World Champion. And I can bet everything I own, come Wednesday night, he's cutting a heel promo. He's so turning heel. CM Punk is so turning heel. He's going to do the same thing he did in ROH. You people bought it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look at the promo when CM Punk won the belt on ROH, where he immediately turned heel. And he's so doing that now. He's so going to do that now. But that was Double or Nothing. And man, I loved this show. I love this show. I give it a 9 out of 10. Solid 9 out of 10. Perfect. I loved it. I loved it, and I will still watch it again. It was almost 5 hours, but I would gladly do it again. This was fantastic. This is what a wrestling pay-per-view should be. That's gonna do it. So, let me know what your guys' favorite part of Double or Nothing was in the comments down below. What do you give the pay-per-view? And I'll see you all next time.